Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching us from. Welcome to today's live immigration chat. My name is Attorney Vanessa Ruiz, and I am representing Immigration for Couples. For those of you who don't know us, our firm is dedicated exclusively to helping couples navigate the U.S. immigration process. So we assist clients across the nation, across the world, no matter where you may be. If you have a partner, who's a U.S. citizen or resident, if you're about to be engaged or already married, whatever the situation may be, we are here to help. We regularly host these Facebook Lives so that we can provide you with information, updates in the world of immigration for couples. So for those of you who are joining us live today, we always love for you to say hello. Please leave us a comment. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know where you're watching from. Those of you who are watching afterwards, a recorded version, that's okay as well. We love saying hello to you too. And so please also leave us any kind of comment with a question or just to say hello so we can know who's been watching us and where you're watching us from. So we normally have a topic that we like to go over. Sometimes we have some live questions, and if we get a chance, we'll definitely try to answer those. But today's topic is going to be the advantages and disadvantages of a spouse visa. So one of the questions that we get really often in our consultations is, should I do a spouse visa? Should I do a fiance visa? A lot of couples find themselves wondering which one might be best for them. Now, I'm here to say there is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. A lot of times it's just going to be what fits best for that particular couple. And so that's why we highly recommend having a consultation with an immigration attorney, with us, so that we can really get to know you as a couple. That's one of the things that we really focus on in our initial consultations, is learning what your goals are, what kind of future you see with each other, and really just kind of get to know you as a couple to figure out, what might be the best route for you. And so a lot of times couples come in saying, well, I think the fiance is better. I think the spouse is better. Like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just going to be trying to figure out which one is best for you in this particular situation. And so that's why it's always very dangerous to base yourself off of somebody else's experience, just because you don't know what their goals may have been, what their desires, what their deal breakers were. And so that's why we always will get to know you individually and figure out what the best option for you is going to be. All right, so I'm here to talk to you about the spouse visa today. And so essentially the spousal visa, the majority of the time, is going to be what's known as consular processing. So whenever somebody is engaged, then you can go through the fiance process. If somebody is already married or planning on marrying very soon, then we would normally go the spousal visa route. Now, for the majority of clients, this means doing the consular processing, which means having an interview in your home country. And so we're going to go kind of based off of that. There are some people who are in the U.S. while they're seeking the same spousal visa. We'll kind of talk a little bit about that. But essentially, one of the advantages of seeking the spousal visa is going to be that whenever you are approved, you're waiting this whole time to get approved for your actual residency. You're going to be approved for your green card. And so all these steps that are being taken are to meet that ultimate goal of getting you your green card, getting you your residency. And so once you do that consular process and you go to your final interview, at that point, once they approve you, you're approved for an immigrant visa, meaning you can enter the US, but you're entering as a resident. And so that's one of the benefits, is that all that time, all that work leads up to that, to getting your residency. And once you enter the US, then you're already a green card holder, already a resident, which comes with other benefits, such as getting a work authorization immediately, meaning you don't actually have to apply for an external authorization because you're already a resident. You're already a green card holder, meaning you can work immediately. You can enter, get your social security number, apply for a driver's license, pretty much all of the planning that you did beforehand to get you to the actual interview. And then beyond that means you're set. You enter as a resident, you can work, you can drive, you get your social, pretty much you're ready to go. You're ready to start your life in the US. So that's one of the advantages, is that you get there and you're good to go. The difference between that and a fiance visa is that most of the time, the fiance visas mean you're going to enter as a fiance and you're going to be pretty much in a limbo period. In limbo, you're going to be in a waiting period until you can actually work, until you can actually drive, get a license, get a social, things like that. And so there's a larger waiting period. So that's why we say that's one of the advantages of the spousal visa. Another one is that you are actually going to have time to plan your move. You're going to have time to plan everything, because generally it's going to be a certain amount of time. You know that you're going to be waiting for about a year and a half, 2 years or so. And so okay, I need to make my plans. I need to start preparing for the move. You can figure out where you're going to live. You can figure out where you're going to work. You can kind of just start making those movements, and a little bit more calmly, because okay, at the end of this process, you're going to get an interview notice. And at that point is when you can really start seeing the future together and seeing, yes, okay, after I get approved, I'm going to go ahead and sell my home. I'm going to, put in notice for my job. I'm going to seek another job in the US, kind of start interviewing, things like that. And so it just kind of lets you do it calmly, and you have the time to plan. So that's one of the benefits of it, is that you kind of know where you're going, when you're going to be there. So it gives you the general idea, and you can start making those movements together as a couple. The other one is if you happen to have your heart set on getting married outside of the US. So if you're wanting to get married in a certain location, if you really, really want certain family members to be able to be there, and that might not be possible in the US, if you really want your complete family to be there, if you want to be, if you've always had your dream wedding in a certain church, in a certain spot, that's always going to be, that's always going to be the reason why getting married outside could be something that you really, really want. And so that's one of the advantages of that spousal visa, is that you have control over when and where you're going to get married. And you know that you can do that, and you can plan it at your leisure. You can plan when, where, and have control over your guest list outside of the US. So one of the disadvantages to the K1 is always going to be that you don't know at what point you're going to get approved. You don't know if your families can travel to join you in the US. So that's always an advantage of the spousal visa. Now, some of the disadvantages are always going to be the time. Essentially, it's going to take a while. So, like I mentioned earlier, a year and a half to 2 years is what you're looking at least, sometimes more, depending on the situation. And so it's going to be time that you're not in the US, or even if you're in the US, pretty much you're going to, sorry, the dogs are joining us today. Pretty much you're going to be waiting maybe apart, or you're going to be visiting less frequently. So that's one of the disadvantages, is you may not be able to be together the whole time that you're waiting. So that is one of the cons. It is a long process. However, every process is different, so we always recommend getting advice on how long each process is going to be. Sometimes there's extra steps that need to be taken that can add or detract from that. So that's one of the things that I always discuss with an immigration attorney. And one of the final cons is, of course, even if you are in the US, you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to, most of the time, get a license, things like that. And so even if you are waiting for your interview in the US, unfortunately, you don't get a lot of those benefits. So that is one of the cons as well. Like I said, each process has their pros and cons. There are pros and cons to the spousal visa. There are pros and cons to adjustments of status. There are pros and cons to fiancés. So each one is going to have a pro and con. You're never going to find the perfect one that might not have any cons. And so that's why we always suggest definitely talking to an attorney. And, you can always visit our website, immigrationforcouples.com, schedule consultation to talk to us to really figure out what the best option is going to be for you specifically. Like I said, don't base your decision off of somebody else's case, off of your cousin, your friend, your aunt, whoever it may be. Each case is different and each one deserves its own individual attention. This is your life that we're talking about. So it's super important to really take the time to get to know what your options may be and to get realistic expectations on what the pros are, what the cons are, what the time frame is going to be, things of that nature. So nothing beats, speaking to an attorney about it. So as always, thank you for watching and always being here with us. Please like and share this video. And like I said, spread the information so that we can definitely help other people throughout their journeys as well. And we do these weekly, and we'd love to see you here again. And we will see you later. Have a great day.